As you may have imagined, a huge part of Release to Thrive is being able to shift and overcome from our struggles. And so the message that was coming through me today that I felt really inspired to bring forward and to talk about on today's episode is all about, being able to trust that there is a higher power, whether you believe in God, whether you call it by another name, whatever you see it as. Maybe you're still opening up to that and into trusting and believing that there is someone or something bigger than you that's here to support you. But I want to share some of the biggest shifts and biggest transformations and moments that helped me overcome my pain and see that there was in fact a purpose behind it. Because no matter what you're going through or what the struggle is, when you're fully in it, it's obviously so heavy and so real. And yet, if we're able to realize we aren't actually alone, then there's so much opportunity for growth. So I cannot wait to dive in and share some of these things with you today. Some really personal stories and some really incredible some really incredible wins from people who have also done this work and found this connection. And if you can hear noises in the background, it's because I'm currently puppy sitting here in London, and as I'm talking to you, looking at the camera, I can see like the chair being pulled away on the side because the puppy is like causing some mayhem right now. But anyway, we've got a better setup than last episode where you could see all my luggage and my bags in the background because that was my quarantine in London. So we're moving on up. We're finding our freedom. We're getting our footing back. So anyway, back to the purpose of this episode. We're diving into connecting to a higher power and how that level of trust and that level of connection can help you move mountains and transmute whatever you're going through. So let's get started. Welcome back to Release to Thrive. I'm Kara Michelle, and I'm a holistic mindset coach and quantum healer who is wildly passionate about mindset, spirituality, and tapping into our truth as limitless beings. Instead of just trying to survive and get by, it's time to thrive. It's time to rise up, to know your worth, to feel empowered and in control of yourself and your life, and to show up at your highest. When we step into this place and come back into true alignment, we can change the world for the better. So welcome to my karmic crew, my fam of heart-centered humans who are ready to release their limitations, lead with love, and start thriving in their careers, relationships, money, and lifestyle in general. I'm here to guide and share all the vulnerable stories and the transformative tools that I've learned over the last decade of making personal development my day job to help you find freedom and start living your truth too. With that said, let's dive in. So on today's episode, I'm chatting all about connecting to God or to a higher power in order to feel support no matter what you're going through. And I'm sharing some really heavy and vulnerable stories and experiences from my own life of times where I felt very stuck and very weighed down by what was going on around me and what was happening. And it was through this connection to God, to a higher power, to that source, that I really found a way through. And so I'm hoping that by sharing this today, it can inspire you, no matter what you're going through in your life right now, to realize that you are not alone. You are so deeply supported. And in finding that connection, you're going to feel so much freedom. So let's get going. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. So this is something that I preface in a lot of my videos if you followed me on YouTube for a while, or if you've read any of my posts on Instagram. If not, go check it out. If you have, you've probably seen me talk about God, but also I always preface that I want you to feel comfortable with that word. And I think that is because of my own discomfort growing up with the word God and with what I interpreted that to be. And so I'm really hesitant around even mentioning it because I immediately have this perception that other people are going to think the same things I did. And so I just want everyone to feel comfortable. So whatever word you use or whatever, if it's a feeling, if there is a name for it, if you use source, universe, Allah, like whatever. This is not a religious reference when I talk about God. For me, it's more about true love and like unconditional love and this incredible infinite creator that has created not only the planet but the galaxies and is here with us in every single moment and is also within each and every single one of us, which is why the more we can awaken to our truth as being a part of God, then the more we can be loving and compassionate and empathetic towards those around us by seeing them as a being of God too, just a child of God, right? So I'm going to be using that word. I hope that that does not cause any problems, and if it does, then I invite you to reflect upon why that feels uncomfortable for you. What beliefs and meaning do you attribute to that word? What potential traumas do you maybe have around that? So that's personal self-reflection 101. So dive into it. Go for it. Uncover more about yourself, right? So with that said, I'm going to move on and get into the point. So I remember when the biggest heartbreak in my life happened, and that was when I was 18, and that was finding out my brother Derek had just passed away. And I will be sharing on another episode the synchronicities, the energetic connection, the premonition I had, because I knew before I actually found out. And I just got chills saying that, because there was just such a powerful bond between myself and my brother, and I was more in tune to energy than I think I realized at that time, and so that's for another episode. But when this moment happened, I was on an airplane. I was coming back from a weekend of university volleyball. I had literally texted and talked to my brother the night before. I was so excited, sharing with him some of the things that had happened in our volleyball game. And then that morning, I had talked with my mom, super excited, feeling good. And then on the plane, had all this incredibly intense emotion. I was just bawling uncontrollably on the plane, had no idea what had happened yet. So many more dynamics to it. But eventually, when the plane landed, I saw that I had a text from my mom to call her. And so I knew, like I already knew at that moment what it was. And my brain was looking for a lot of excuses. I was trying to think, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that. But internally, I knew that it had to do with Derek. And so when I got off that plane, I was in tears, obviously, like uncontrollably trying to process what I had just found out. And my volleyball coach, I didn't talk to anyone on my team, anyone on the men's team. We traveled together. They were all waiting in line for their bags. I was sitting off on a bench with my coach, just crying. And actually my coach went to go book me a ticket on that exact same plane, so I literally got my bag and boarded onto the next plane to fly back home. And I remember sitting there on that bench, and my coach's partner at the time, she walked over and sat down beside me, and she just said, "I don't know what you believe in, Kara, but I believe in God, and I just want to let you know that he only does this for people who can handle it. Like, he only gives you that which you can handle." And at that moment, obviously, for anyone who's been in a similar situation or in any kind of moment of extreme pain, you don't really, it's hard to believe that like there is a God and there is someone or something looking after you when you're going through something like that. But I remember still in that moment, there was like this tiny bit of comfort in that and a hope, you know, like it did not replace what I had just lost, and it did not change anything about my current reality. But there was like this inkling of hope that, you know what, maybe this is happening for a reason, and maybe there is something bigger than me that is still watching over me, even though I don't feel that way right now. And so this is something that has stuck with me for 10 years now, I guess, because it's been 10 years officially, almost 10 and a half since he passed away. And I would say it was definitely a process to get to a point where I did believe in God and I did believe that to be true. And in coming to create that belief and create that connection, it has helped in so many areas of my life, not only in just bringing a sense of relief in those hard times, but also in opening me up to a divine channel, excuse me, to possibilities and opportunities, and seeing a bigger picture, finding gratitude for whatever I'm moving through, and seeing that it could actually be happening for me. I'm drinking coffee today because, I don't know. I do not usually drink. I try to limit my amount of coffee because I'm so incredibly sensitive that if I have coffee, I could just be wired for like ever. So I try to limit it, but sometimes I just like the taste and I like that feeling, that buzz. So here we are. So where you are in your life right now, let's dive into this actually. Wherever you are in your life right now, whatever you're currently moving through, I mean, we're in the midst of what month like 16 or month 18 or month 20 of like a global pandemic. So there's been a lot. There's been a lot of things coming to light in terms of so much injustice in the world. There's been a lot of pain and suffering around the planet because of not only what's going on in terms of lockdown and everything, but also what's coming to surface, what we're finally starting to see of the corruption and the control and manipulation and inequality. And so there's a lot of suffering, and I want to acknowledge that. I want to acknowledge that whatever you are moving through at this moment, it's okay to be feeling those emotions, and where you are, like sit with that and process it, and it's okay to feel the heaviness. It's okay to be where you are. With that said, if I could share one thing that could potentially help you in that moment, after, and it's not to compare my experience to yours or your experience to someone else's, but after going through losing my brother and then being raped very soon after that, and then hitting black ice, and I lost control on the highway and flipped and rolled 4 times, countless, like a lot of traumas, a lot of different things in my life that I had the opportunity to work through. And at the time, I would not have said it was an opportunity. At the time, I felt very consumed by it. I felt very alone and stuck and disheartened. And I would have very much like taken on the mindset of being a victim and like, why do these things keep happening to me? And I don't deserve this. I'm a good person. I have a good heart. Why? And I said that for a long time. And that was very valid. That was a very valid experience and a valid response. Now, what I've come to learn and what I've come to shift into, that is my invitation to you, is how can we take a more empowered response and empowered approach to realize that like, maybe this is happening for me, even though I hate it and even though I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. But maybe this is happening for me to help me become stronger. And that brings me back to the message that my coach's partner said to me about, like God only gives you that which you can handle. And you are stronger than you know. And that's why this is happening. And maybe this is happening to help show you your strength, to help uncover what is truly within you, how capable and powerful you are. And so again, you might not be able to see that at this present moment, but I promise you, if you are willing to look for that as time goes by, or if you're willing to use that lens to view your past, I promise you, you're going to find proof and see that you did in fact become so much stronger from those experiences. And so everything that's happening right now in the world, there's two ways we can approach it. There's two ways we can respond to it. And one of those is to feel very stuck, very down, or, in that kind of victim mindset of like, things are happening to me. I don't feel like I have any control. I feel very lost and alone, and hurting. You could be in that place. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But the other place you could choose to be into, and you can practice shifting into, is the place of personal empowerment and seeing, this must be happening for a reason. Again, maybe I don't like it and I wouldn't choose it, but it is my reality at this moment. And so what can I take from it? What even one tiny little thing can I take from that? And for me at the beginning, after losing Derek, it was the only thing I could take from it at the beginning was that it was helping me connect deeper to spirit. Not only through connecting deeper to myself and uncovering personal answers that to questions I'd been asking since I was like 6 or 7 years old about like, what is the purpose of even living and being on this planet, right? I started to uncover the answers to that through losing him. And I started to connect to the fact that we are more than just a physical being, and we are energy. And I would not be where I am today, I don't think. And I'm going to keep crying. So just chill, just bear with me. It's emotions, they're beautiful. I would not be where I am today had this experience with Derek not happened, because it was something that opened me up to the energetic realm, to connecting to him and his spirit, to realizing that there is so much more. And so all of this growth, I mean, again, that was just the bare minimum that I could see at the beginning. But as time went by, and now 10 years later, yes, 1,000 times yes, I would do anything to bring him back and to change that as a reality. And with that said, the exponential growth that has happened and been a catalyst because of that experience and because of that loss is like indescribable. It's so powerful. And as I came to connect deeper and deeper to God over the years, and especially the last few years when I started diving into quantum healing and that work a lot more, and like really, having a daily commitment and a daily practice to myself and to God, and to like connecting to the quantum field and the infinite field of possibilities, that field of energy, that is what really, really allowed me to see that I'm so much more than any single experience that has ever happened to me. And so the time that I was raped, that is something that I can now look at and actually feel gratitude for, in the sense of like how much growth and knowledge came from it, and where I am today, where that would like never happen again. And the level of standards, boundaries, self-love, confidence, activations in my voice, all these different things that came about because of it. And so through understanding and through finding meaning and finding purpose, finding connection to God, it helped me realize, wait a minute, I actually wasn't ever alone in those experiences. And that's one of the most beautiful things that quantum healing has helped me do. And just sharing another experience with a client, we did a session last week, and this is not to like plug quantum healing, although it's so amazing, but I just want to share this story because I think it will be like very, very mind-blowing for you, and will be something you can hopefully relate to in your own life and use as a catalyst for shifting your own perspective and uncovering the support that you do have, the divine support that is with you in every single moment, no matter how dark and heavy it feels. So we were doing this session, and my client, she was working on grief specifically as well. And the moment that she found out her dad had passed away, and this was when she was younger. And so as you can imagine, that was a moment of really big trauma, and it created so much heaviness, so many beliefs, so many feelings of a lack of support and like not trusting in God, not trusting in the universe, not trusting in a higher power to hold her and help her. And so it created a lot of things as she got older, right? Because we continue to carry those experiences with us until we shift and work through them. And so in this session, one of the things that we do is we do bring in God consciousness and that creative force, that energy, into the scene, into the memory of when this happened. And the most beautiful, profound shifts always come from this. And I've done it for myself with my memories around grief, as well as my memories with being raped. And what's so crazy, and it might sound like very weird if you haven't done some of this work, or if this is new to you, or if you're really in a dark place at this moment. So again, no judgment and no pressure. I'm just sharing, and hopefully this can help in some way. But when I brought the awareness of God into those memories, I immediately felt a sense of safety, a sense of comfort, a sense of, this is a horribly traumatic and uncomfortable moment in my life, but I'm not actually alone. And it's an illusion that I'm alone in this suffering. It's an illusion that this is happening because I'm a bad person, or it's an illusion that I need to carry shame or guilt around these experiences, or carry unworthiness around this. All of those are illusions the second you bring that connection to God in. Because when you bring in that connection to God, you immediately feel like supported. You immediately feel loved. You immediately remember that you're more than enough. And for me, even in the memory, it's like, wow, this is actually happening for me and shifting me down a path, and it's helping realign me with my destiny. And I think also just on a collective level right now, the thing, and I don't want to keep referring to it because then YouTube's probably going to put the banner under my video, and I don't want that, but because that's not the point of this video. But the thing that's going on in the collective world right now is literally giving us the opportunity to shift into a new reality. Like, we are at a crossroads where the way that we've been living and existing as human beings, the way we have been thinking, judging, comparing, chasing, hating, all of these, separation, all of these things that have been happening and being fueled by the ego is not working. And so we're at this big tipping point, or this big boiling point, where things are going to massively change if we can take that higher road. If we can connect and see that things are actually happening for a reason, we have the power, we have the ability to make a change, to shift into something new, to create something better. And if we take that road, we could continue to stay in the road of the heaviness, of feeling the pain and trauma, of being immersed in the fear and that lower energy. And unfortunately, that energy is what keeps us in the current reality. It keeps the world from not changing. But if we can shift, if we can elevate, if we can come to see like all of these things, all of our experiences have actually been happening for us, not to us, to help be the catalyst for our growth and the catalyst for our evolution, so that we can each individually step into our destiny and therefore affect and impact and elevate the consciousness, elevate the whole planet through our own individual growth and healing. Man, imagine what kind of world we would live in if we did that. And so that's what we're seeing in terms of so many people are elevating and shifting into this paradigm. They are taking their power back. They are realizing that they're connected to an infinite source of energy, and that love is all there is, and the rest is just an illusion and a matrix and a program to keep us trapped. And this is where we're going to see the most incredible shifts happening on the planet because of it. And so wherever you are, tangent is over. Actually, let me bring it back. So my quantum healing client, as she brought God consciousness in, the most incredible shift happened. I could literally see, because we were doing a video call, see the energy shift, not only in her body, but like her smile. Just all of a sudden, you know, this is minutes ago, she's crying and in tears about this memory of grief and the trauma and the pain that it's caused her. And we're bringing in this connection to God. And there's now this beautiful smile, this loving smile. And she says, wow, like I feel so supported. And I'm seeing that this was actually here for me. It's going to be a huge part of my story and a huge part of my empowerment. And this was something that like I came here to experience. All of these beliefs, all of these shifts are in the realm of personal empowerment, right? We take our power back in those moments. And so that's what this is all about. When we connect to God, and like, as I said, it's all a choice. And we can choose to stay where we are. That's fine. We can choose to just take baby steps. So maybe today can help inspire you to just start reflecting on some of your experiences. What is the way that you responded to them? What is the way that you're continuing to hold them and carry them, whether in your mind, your body, or your energetic field, right? Because these experiences create imprints. That's something that no one can deny. It creates an imprint. It creates an image around how we see ourselves, what we believe is possible, what we believe we deserve. It can create trauma and physical pain or physical heaviness or physical experiences, you know, illnesses in the body, because we're storing it and we're holding on to this negative energy, this negative experience. I know for me, even like a simple matter is like after grief, the way that my life force was gone, like physically drained, so much pain. The most physical pain I've ever had in my life came up those few years after losing my brother, because I was just carrying everything. I wasn't processing. I didn't know how to handle things at that time, and I wasn't taking care of myself. But I also, like, you could see the light was gone from my face, you know? I wasn't really there, because I was so deep in my pain. You notice this with people. There's a difference. I look at pictures of me even like 5 or 6 years ago. The way, the vibrancy, the energy was not there in those pictures, whereas now I can see it. And that's because of releasing these things. So physically releasing and shedding these layers and these burdens, transmuting it into something more powerful, more empowering. And energetically, we carry these imprints as well. And so energetically, where are you carrying wounding or pain or trauma or negative experiences? Where are you allowing more negative energy to get into your field and to hold you down? And what things can you release? Can you let go of? And that brings us back to episode number 1 about releasing in that energetic backpack, right? But it's all part of the process. And to me, connecting to a higher power was one of the most powerful shifts. Again, it didn't happen overnight, but as I continued to do that, and as I continued to realize, it's 11:11, as I continued to realize what was going on and how this was actually serving me in my purpose. And maybe that's delusional. Maybe that sounds incredibly delusional to someone on the outside watching this. That's totally fine. It's cool. I would have thought it was delusional 10 years ago when people told me, Kara, this is happening for you, and like, trust, like this was meant to be. And I was like, screw you. Like, my brother just died. fuck off. Don't tell me that. It's not meant to be. Like I had no capacity for that at that time, and that's okay. So if you're in that place right now and you don't want to acknowledge, or you're not vibing with this message, that's totally fine. But I do believe that over time, if you can shift into this, it will change your whole life. And so as we open up, as we uncover and see that we are in fact so divinely supported, that really everything in our life is happening for a reason, even if we can't see that reason at the time. But if you can trust that and you can believe that these struggles, these blips, these moments of pain are happening for you, it's really going to allow you to continue to navigate and move through them at a faster pace. It's going to allow you to see them from a different perspective and find the lessons, find those pieces of growth, find those pieces of evolution that became possible because of the pain that you're experiencing. And so many moments in my life, I look back to even a year ago when I was kind of feeling forced to do my surrender experiment. You can check out the last episode for more about that. But that was a moment of a lot of heaviness. There was a lot of like, wait, why am I in this place? You know, again, it's that victim mindset of like, but I'm a good person and I'm doing all these good things. So why, like, is it not coming back to me? And very much in that energy. Well, as I shifted into realizing, no, Kara, you're actually exactly where you're meant to be, because these things are providing you with lessons and growth. These things are helping you see yourself in a new way. They're helping you uncover what you will no longer settle for, what you're elevating into, you know, what you're here to do on this planet. None of this would be possible without these experiences. And so embracing that growth, embracing that challenge, and using it to be the catalyst to push me forward was so magnificent. And I would not have been able to do that without a connection to God or a higher source, without that ability to kind of lean back in a sense and be like, this is uncomfortable. I'm crying a lot. I am not super happy. I wish things were very different, but this is how it is. And I know that there's a puppy. Hi. I know that this is actually exactly where I'm meant to be. And I know that God is here with me, looking after me and trying to provide whatever it is I need. So even though I may not, from my ego, my little ego mind, my little conscious mind that thinks it knows what's best, even though I can't see why this is happening, yeah, right. Even though I can't see why this is happening for me, I trust that God can see it, and that one day it will become apparent to me. One day I will see why it's happening for me too. And from this place, look at this cutie. Look at this little cutie. From this place, from this level of awareness, this level of trust, the suffering starts to decrease. I think if people, I'm going to wrap this up, but just to mention the collective experience right now, because I talked about it today and that was not my intention at all. But there we go. Let's just, you're going to fall off. Okay. Let's just finish this episode with this guy here. Okay. So from the collective standpoint, we'll just do that. From the collective standpoint of what's going on in the world right now, from the collective standpoint of what's going on in the world right now, if we could see that there is a higher power here at play, like a God consciousness that's here supporting this experience, the level of fear and panic would decrease. This is a disaster. I don't know why I brought him up here. He just keeps trying to, I have lip gloss on and he just keeps trying to sniff it. Okay. We're gonna go back down. Okay, there we go. I'll just try this again. Let's just finish this off. If, from a collective standpoint, if we could look at what's going on in the world right now, and we all had the full-blown belief and trust and faith that there is a God and there is a higher purpose to what's happening, the level of fear would decrease. There would be way less panic and worry about our current situations because we'd be able to trust that we're fully supported, even if we can't see it, even if we lost our job, even if we feel like the finances are draining. There would be a different sense of relief and trust. And if we saw that like this is happening for us, not to us, we could take the standpoint of, okay, so since this is happening for us or for me, what can I do from this situation? What can I shift into? How can I use my current experience, my current pain, my current suffering, and make something beautiful out of it? How can I give back? How can I support myself and support others? How can I create something meaningful from this present moment? And that, again, is not only the choice of empowerment, but it's the choice of like doing good, being good, good karma, right? Spreading that around in the world. And so wrapping this up here, because this episode has been all over the place. Thank you for being here with me on this journey of a million different things. Maybe it's the coffee. Maybe it's just a little bit of that like squirrel mind coming in. But yeah, seeing that you're supported in your struggles, seeing that there is a God and a higher power here, that this is happening for you. I really invite you to spend some time, if you're wanting to, spend some time reflecting on this and thinking about the blessings that actually came from your pain, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much growth actually happened. And it's that beautiful butterfly effect, right? Where had my brother not passed away, so many things in my life would be different. It wouldn't have been the catalyst for so much growth. I would not be where I am today. Then the next thing, like had I not been raped, that would not have sparked a lot of other paths, a lot of other avenues, a lot of other growth. Had my car accident not happened, that was a huge turning point for me in a lot of ways in chasing after and pursuing like more holistic techniques like breathwork, meditation, mindfulness, traveling to India, doing, did I say breathwork? I think so. Like all of these things that Reiki as well, which got me open into the energy field even deeper, right? So many of these things would not have happened without those negative experiences or so-called negative experiences. And so if we can find the blessing, if we can find the fact that we are supported even when we don't feel it, it's going to allow us to actually really turn that pain into purpose and transmute that struggle into something really beautiful and really empowering and really healing for the world. Because it's in my own personal journey and healing work and shifting the perspective and finding that connection to God, finding that faith and trust, that brought me to where I am today, where now I can share my stories, share my message, create content around this and help people and coach clients and do quantum healing and really allow them to experience these shifts in their life as well. So what struggles, what pain of yours can you turn into purpose and create something beautiful with to help other people as well, or help the planet? And the only way you're going to actually do that and take the action to do that is that if you can believe that you are supported and it's happening for you. So finding that connection to God and realizing that you're not alone. You weren't, the victim. This wasn't happening because you were a bad person. It wasn't because you deserved it. And it's not something you need to feel guilty or shameful or unworthy over. It's like, no, we get to own this and see this as a blessing, and we get to see how it's a catalyst for becoming that human, that version that we're meant to be. So really pushing forward and creating a massive, incredible story from it is going to be so powerful, so beautiful in all areas of our lives. So with that said, This is a huge thing that I do help my clients with inside my Release to Thrive mastermind. And I'm super stoked, as I shared on the last episode of Release to Thrive, that we've just opened up a few spots inside here right now. So I'm going to drop the link down below if you are looking for coaching, if you're looking for a proven step-by-step process to help you go from pain to purpose and help you really shift out of the limiting constructs, the limiting beliefs, the limiting experiences that are keeping you stuck right now. And maybe they are keeping you feeling a bit like a victim. And again, no shame, no judgment. I've been there myself. I still fall back there at times. And I was very much in that place during my trifecta of struggles. But if you're ready to get out of that place and you want to feel confident, you want to feel worthy, you want to be creating something meaningful in the world, you know you're meant for more than just this struggle or this mundane life or this settling or whatever you're experiencing right now. If you're ready for more, click the link down below to learn more about Release to Thrive and book a call with myself or a member of my team. And we can see if we can help you. I would absolutely love to serve, to share more, to guide, and work with you along this journey, help you uncover your true purpose and your true power and your gifts, and really start shining those bright in the world. So that is down below. Thank you so much for being here. If you found this helpful, please feel free to share with those you know who could benefit, and give it a thumbs up, and make sure you have subscribed and turned on notifications so you're the first to be notified when I release a new episode. And again, just so much gratitude, so much love for you being here, and thanks for bearing with my emotional roller coaster and my coffee mind, because I feel like this episode was literally all over the place. Maybe as I edit it, I'll be like, no, this makes sense. But right now in my mind, it's just like, it just feels like it's not computing and that it was really scattered. So regardless, welcome. Welcome to being in a moment of my life and getting to see what it's like when I drink coffee. And thank you for the love and support. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing yourself and choosing to do good, to be good, to, really be a part of the Being Karmic crew and community, those who are wanting to make a positive impact in the planet and realize that it starts with them. So I'm really grateful, and I will see you on the next episode.